Hello, I'm Aubrey Birch with Easy School Marketing. I'm excited to chat with you today about information overload, how to streamline your school's communication. So we're going to talk about how to do that because it's a common challenge, right? So parents, what are they feeling? They're feeling overwhelmed with the amount of email you're sending. They're like, where do I find things? They're super confused. And then schools, you're like, we're not sure who's sending out what. They're like, what are the teachers sending out? Oh gosh, parents are receiving 5 emails a week from different sources because no one's on the same page. We feel completely lost. So let's discuss that today. So let's talk about information overload. Okay, so how can we relieve this, right? For parents and for staff, make it easier, right? So number one is to consider apps. Now, I don't want you to just consider an app to consider an app. We've been reviewing a lot of school apps for our clients to figure out, hey, is there one that might meet your needs? And sometimes the answer is no. The key thing with apps and when you're considering apps is that they should replace systems you already have. You do not want to add one more thing for your parents and staff to learn if it's not replacing the existing system. So for example, if you're launching an app and it is going to replace your forms, it's going to replace your Sign Up Genius, it's going to replace your school email marketing platform, then that's great, right? But if it's only going to replace like one of those things and parents still have to go to several other places to get information, then it's probably not the best thing for you. Now, if you do choose to launch an app which can streamline your communications, you need to understand that it's a learning curve for faculty and staff and parents. Make sure your runway is long enough so that you can really do this properly. Now, you might be asking, Aubrey, what apps do you find valuable? Now, it's going to depend on each school, and what systems you already have in place, what systems you need to replace, and how to streamline your communication. So we often do this in our half-day strategic consulting sessions where we dive in and we'll compare and contrast and look at your communications, come up with a communications calendar, and then maybe an app fits into all that. So some of the ones we've been looking at, Parent Square is a very robust. It's a pricier app, but it's an app, it's a platform. It does so much more. It can replace your emergency systems. It can replace your email marketing, your photo apps, your forms, all sorts of things. So it is a really robust app. So we found that some schools really like that because it replaces a lot of software that they didn't really need now that they have Parent Square. There's also Digistorm is a great app. They can create a customized app for you. ClassTag, there's so many people out there, like different apps that you could, as a school, explore. But just remember that when you're exploring apps, they should replace things that you already have and make everything easier for parents to consume because we want to get rid of the overload. The second thing is to create and follow a consistent communication schedule. So all communications from all departments and classrooms should be on a schedule. This is what we work with some of our clients with a lot, right? For example, head of school emails should be maybe once a month and they go out like the third Thursday of every month. The weekly newsletter comes out once a week on Thursdays. The teacher update is once a month and it's looking back and looking forward. The updates to a photo app, if you're using it, or some other way to share photos with parents happens twice a week on these days. Then you layer in your annual fund emails, your community emails, your parents association emails, and make sure that they have a date for when these goes out so they don't go out when 5 other things are going out. But really the goal is to create a communication schedule and stick with it and be consistent, right? Because then parents understand where to find things and you have set the baseline for your communications for your community. The other thing is to understand the platforms your parents are on. So when you're thinking about information overload and parents and communication, we have to understand where parents are. If we're sending information to someplace they're not, then that's a problem, right? That's a communication breakdown. So something to consider is to survey parents annually or every other year and figure out what social platforms are they using? Are they still using email? Do they want to be text instead? Where are they and how do they prefer to communicate? Because that's going to help you create a communication plan that reduces overwhelm and helps parents understand what you're sending and when. Another thing, ensure that parents and the teachers, parents and associations, and others don't derail the system you've put in place. Whatever system it is, whether you're using an app, whether you're deciding to put together a very detailed communication schedule, everyone needs to be on the same page. So you really need to train everyone to respect and follow the communication systems or it will derail the entire thing, right? And then you'll end up with overwhelm and information overload all over again. The last thing I'm going to talk about in terms of information overload is to make it easy for parents. So not only having that consistent communication schedule, considering an app to replace things, but also having accurate calendars, like keeping your calendars accurate and making sure they can sync so that parents who are busy have one place where they can go. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you want to dive into a half-day strategic consulting session with me and we iron out your communications calendar, I'd love to do that. You can email me at aubrey@easyschoolmarketing.com. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Take care.